Good evening. My name is Santiago Saavedra. I'm from 1101 grade from República Dominicana School, and this is the presentation of my project of life that is necessary to remember that is a requirement to obtain the title of academic baccalaureate. So let's start. This year we decided to transform the project into a book. So I decided to title my book as No Limits, No Boundaries to Go Through the World. And we needed a quote to represent our book, so I felt most inspired by the next quote from Steve Jobs. You have to be burning with an idea, or a problem, or a wrong that you want to right. If you are not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick it out. And for me, it means that if you don't feel that you're doing things correctly, and as it says, with passion, mm, it probably won't uh, turn out as you want it to turn. So I felt comfortable with the quote, and I think that it represents exactly what I need to show in this project. The agenda for this presentation is the following. So the first one is the objectives of the project. The second is my self-biography. The third is the presentation of the test made uh, that across the last year and this year we made. The fourth place is the personal results from the tests. The fifth is the chosen careers that I realized that I liked the most among other careers. The sixth is the universities comparative that we made uh, between three different universities to compare fees and wages and to define what university fits the most with us. The seventh place is the interviews with professionals that we made to interact with the people that actually know the work fields of those careers. The eighth place is the university conferences or the visits that they made us or that were made to the university's facilities. The nine is the conclusions of all the project. The 10 are the references that I used to realize this project, and the 11th is the thanks. So the objectives. The general objective is to synthesize all knowledge obtained from life's project, with which I discover more about myself and about my cognitive level. The specific objectives, um, I mean, the different steps to complete this general objective are the following. First one, to determine personal characteristics and abilities, analyzing personal results on multiple intelligences theory, Gardner 1983, and Holland's Code 1975. So in these two theories, we utilize them to realize what did we like the most. So that's what we're gonna analyze with this presentation. The second specific objective is to analyze my family and economic context to provide realistic plans about my future. So it is necessary to analyze if I have enough economic resources and if I have enough cognitive level to access to higher education in some specific universities. The third one is to consult and contrast different universities and their fees and wages, as I told before. So, my self biography, if you would like to watch it and hear it more properly, um, is in the full document that was sent to you. So, I'm just gonna talk about a little bit about me. So, as I said before, my name is Santiago Saavedra. I'm 16 years old. I was born on April 5th of 2004 in Bogota, Colombia. Some of my strengths are that I'm good at listening, analyzing problems, writing. I consider myself good at writing. And some of my weaknesses are that sometimes I get angry easily. Yes. And when I do that. I have a stubborn attitude. So I think that maybe that's some things that I have to improve on. But um, I think everyone has something to um, improve. So the first test that we made was the Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence. This allowed us to notice exactly what are our most interesting developed areas of knowledge. For example, in my case, my top intelligences are interpersonal and linguistic. But before analyzing my results, I want to say that Gardner proposed that intelligence is not defined just as a single intelligence. It is, for him, it has different areas or branches that we could say act together to compose a complete human interaction or the way a person uh, thinks. So he divided this intelligence into 8 branches that they are the linguistic intelligence, the musical intelligence, intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligences, the logical or mathematical intelligence, the visual spatial intelligence, the naturalistic, and the kinesthetic. These 8 intelligences allow the people that realize this kind of test to notice and compare what do they like the most, um, and also recognize which careers could fit more with them. Uh, Talking about maybe if you want to be a doctor, maybe you like naturalistic things, so you will fit maybe in the naturalist intelligence. Or if you want to be a musician, you will fit into the musical intelligence, and so on. In my case, I obtain well balanced results, being the highest result, the interpersonal with 20%. The linguistic and musical have the same mm, percentage with a 17%. And then the others are not the most developed, but they need to be considered also as part of my intelligence because, as Garnet says, we all have the intelligences, the 8 ones, but ones have more developed ones than others. So in my case, those are interpersonal, linguistic, and musical intelligences. The another one is the vocational choices, or how is well known, Holland's Code. This test allowed us to notice or maybe connect or likes with or professional interests. So if you maybe like to investigate and also like careers that have to uh, investigate a lot, so maybe you will fit in one of the 6 types of personality that Holland proposed in 1975. So from the 6 that they proposed were investigative, or as we say in the presentation, researcher. They are the same. The other one is enterprising or entrepreneur, that is the person that makes himself proud of taking the lead and those things. The social, that, as it says, fits perfectly with people that know how to interact with other people. The conventional personality is someone who likes the methods that are currently working. So it is someone that likes the conventional methods. The artist personality, as it says, is the people that like a lot to paint, sculpt, draw. And the last one, the realistic personality, are the people that like to use their hands or their body to complete tasks and maybe find solutions with that part of their bodies. In my case, these results that you can see in the presentation are that my most developed personality is the researcher or investigative, and with a 51%, The next one is the entrepreneur or enterprising with a 49%, and the third one, the social, 42%. And Holland also said that if we want to find a career that fits with our interests and with what we like, we need to find according to the first three letters of the first three most developed personalities. So in my case, it will be the letter A for investigative, the letter E for enterprising, and the letter S for social. So IES will be my three uh, result of Holland's code, and based on these three letters, I will fit more in some careers than others. So everyone has to search in the results the first three letters to search careers that are according to what they like and their professional interests. The chosen careers, for me in my case, are systems engineer as the principal one, and then modern languages with acting like a complement to the other one. So I think that maybe both of them could complement each other. So I want to realize or want to exert both careers and study them. So systems engineering is the, as the NASA says, is the conjunction of processes that works together, and that maybe if they were alone, they wouldn't work the same way. So systems engineering is a career that allow people to study how to improve those processes and make them or use them for the benefit of people around them. So in modern languages are the ability that a person has to dominate a variety of languages. The most common would be English, French, and maybe German also, are very used by businesses, international businesses. And if we talk about modern languages, it differs from an education perspective. It's not a degrees for teaching, it's just learning languages to use them to maybe make businesses around a country or the world. It can be very useful. The people that study systems engineering could exert as programmers, they could exert as maybe analysts of maybe structures of data, databases, constructors of uh, different networks, and who studies modern languages could be as translators or maybe act like meeting people that um, could make businesses, as I said, around the world. So now goes the universities comparative. We chose three different universities. In this case, I chose Universidad Nacional de Colombia as the first option. So but I have to clarify that all of this analysis depends on my Saavedra IFES results. So if they are what I expect them to be, I could consider applying to this university, because nowadays is the most recognized and highest level theoretically, and maybe also with their graduates. They have the highest education that a Colombian person could receive. So the Universidad Nacional de Colombia is the most, it could be said, important on the country. So it's my first option. Then Universidad Distrital Francisco José de Caldas was my second option. So both national and distrital universities, they both nowadays use the ICFES results to approve their students, their candidates. So if my results are good enough, I could consider applying to these universities. In case my results aren't what I expect them to be, I consider a third university called Corporación Universitaria Minuto de Dios. This university is a private one, which means that I need to obviously pay for the semester. So in this case, the cost per semester is 3,269,000. So I think that it will be a good option to study here in case my results aren't what I expect them to be, because they have good financial supports, and they have additionally conventions for studying abroad in the countries that you see in the presentation. Something I didn't say about this universities is that in this case the universities receive um, money from the students, but not the same amount that maybe in private colleges, because they do it through tax returns. So let's continue with the interviews with the professionals. So to get more involved in a systems engineering role and in languages, I consulted with two professionals that helped me understand better their professions. So they were very helpful because they helped me analyze different aspects from the careers, and we could talk about their experiences over the years. So I could even think that they were really grateful for the way they were educated, and also they can say that they are successful in what they have done. They have been successful, and obviously they are happy with what they chose. In every situation of their lives, they could take advantage of, in the first case of systems engineering, and in the second case from being a teacher, teaching languages in a university and public schools for my second interview. So these experiences allowed me to get more involved in these both careers. The universities that visit us, they wanted to maybe the last year come to our school, but in this case, this year, most of them, they made conferences, video conferences, so that we could know their academic programs, the prices, the fees and wages. So most of the universities have the opportunity to meet us and invited us through different presentations, different conferences, as I told you. So most of the universities also allowed us to know if they were an opportunity for us to apply, or if they were of or if they had prices, maybe too high prices. So the independent of the university that visited us, it was experience that we could rescue. That in each opportunity that we had with them, they showed us not just the programs, but also how they have obtained their recognition nationally, or maybe even internationally, as for example, having agreements with other institutions in other countries, and different aspects that made the universities the best of them. Maybe just talking about how they obtain the title of higher education certificates, and so on. The conclusions, finally, the conclusions that this project allowed me to make were the three according to my objectives. So the first one is that I analyzed my tests results and defined my predominant types of thinking styles that, as I told you, are intrapersonal and linguistic. And my three most developed personalities were investigative, enterprising, and social. The second one is that I could project my future considering my economic reality and family help and establish the process that I must follow to achieve my goals. This means that when I made the consult, when I research the universities, when I talk with my parents about all the economic reality that we have, we could analyze as a family and also personally what were my opportunities to really access to higher education. So this allowed us to talk about the third one, is that I understood my possibilities to go to college and finish a professional career successfully. Consider, as I told before you, my ICFES Saber 11 results. So based on those results, I could say that if I can study in a public university or if I have to study in a private one. That's what I want to make clear with these conclusions. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope you like this video.